Hey, everybody. Good evening. I wanted to do a bit today on humor and the importance of humor for psychological, emotional, physiological health and well being. And so, in so doing, it's really important to mention using humor as a true coping mechanism and not a defense mechanism. And so, Um, I'll explain that here briefly. So, a defense mechanism, the best way to think about this is a defense mechanism is any thought pattern, thought generation, emotional reactions, or behaviors that we engage in order to avoid an issue or a problem. Whether that's a past issue or problem that's unresolved or a current situation that we're facing. And so, yeah, all of those things, thoughts, emotions, behaviors to avoid said issue. And a coping mechanism is any thought, emotion, or behavior that we engage in used to address the issue or the problem in a healthy way. And humor, uh, if history tells us anything, if we look at professional comedians as an example, I mean, some of the greatest comedians of all time, they provided us with some of the great comedy of all time. Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, John Belushi, the list goes on and on. But those individuals, just to name a few, were brilliant as they were, and as funny and comedic as they were very had a lot of issues, many unresolved issues in their lives, and they used comedy as a defense mechanism, and it was a way for them to sort of run from themselves. And uh, professional comedians that use comedy as a coping mechanism, although it's other examples are plentiful. Um, they use it. They have found a way to use it as a way of addressing their own stuff, right? And so professional comedians are merely human. And so for us to impart this to in using it and implementing it in our own lives, we have to be very aware of that. Like, how are we using humor? And one of the age-old discussions is, can humor be? Is it genetic? Is it just in our DNA to have a good sense of humor, or does it need to be taught, or can it be taught? And I'm not necessarily talking about being funny in the sense of making other people laugh or the ability to make other people laugh, but for any one of we don't have to be a professional comedian. We just have to be able to develop a sense of what is humorous and what can make us see the lighter side of things and see life from that sort of perspective, even in dark situations. Um, Being able to address those issues in more of a lighthearted way. And so, doing all of this does take an awareness to be able to remember to not take ourselves or others or even life too seriously. And the research is out there. I mean, it has been for many years, of the benefits of laughter, true laughter. And I'm not talking about laughing at someone, in terms of like a sadistic way. And I'll say this real quick: all comedy, to some degree or another, all styles of comedy, all forms of humor are in some way, shape, or form sadistic. Some level of sadism is involved. But sadism, and I'm not talking about sadomasochism in a sexual type of way here, but there's a whole spectrum and a whole range of a person being sadistic. So if we see someone sort of slip on the banana peel or so, and we know that they're not hurt, in comedy, I mean, if we see someone on screen, slip and fall in sort of a comedic way, a slapstick way, like we know they're not actually hurt. They didn't, break their leg or have some really serious injury, but we're laughing at them falling. The actor did fall, and so we're laughing, and it's funny to some degree, and so we're laughing at someone else's misfortune, but it's on that very very mild level, and as opposed to, and this was the point I was making a minute ago, I'm not talking about laughing at someone else's misfortune, like they fall and they actually do hurt themselves seriously. Well, to laugh at them and to get genuine joy and pleasure out of that, that's another type of issue. So that's not what I'm referring to. But yeah, being able to not take ourselves or life too seriously, and even in hard times or difficult times, research has shown the physiological benefits of laughter, the neurological, uh, neurochemical standpoint of endorphins being released, and it's a natural pain reliever. And we know that people that, for example, professional comedians, many of them, the ones that are not casualties and the ones that did not have severe substance abuse or those issues I mentioned earlier. But in general, many, many comedians live very long lives because they know how to laugh and they know how to find the comedic and humorous side of life themselves. They don't take themselves too seriously. And that's a very, very psychologically beneficial thing to do. So I just wanted to take this time today to be able to impart that to everyone, of being able to laugh and learning how to laugh and not taking ourselves or others or life too seriously. So um, there you go. I'll see you all next time and have a great evening. Bye.